What's up, guys? Arc Rides here, bringing you another daily video. And I just thought I should give you some context on the very last video where I got pulled over by that cop. What actually happened, the way I encountered him, the way I ended up, talking to him by the side of the road. Originally, he saw me flying around this corner, as he said.
I see these things rolling, and that you come flying around the corner down here when I saw you, and to me that's dangerous. You're on a road with cars on a little thing like that, very hard to see. Okay, I didn't know what the hell it was.
But he was going in the opposite direction to me, right? We were both on the road. I was going around the corner. He was going around the corner in the opposite direction. And I noticed in my peripheral vision that his face was all like, he had an expression of like shock on his face. I didn't look at him though, so I pretended not to notice him. Because if I looked straight at him and he had that face, he might have waved his arm and tried to hail me down. So I just ignored him. I kept going, and I went straight over this narrow bridge where cars can't go. And I just kept going, so I lost him. And then half an hour later, I went back to that same place because that's the way I was going originally. And that's when he found me. So I was kind of stupid to go back there. I should have just gone a different way. Could have avoided that altogether. Oh, well, it's too late for that now. And today we're going to talk about drifting a little bit. Just kind of a preliminary video before the tutorial, because I'm going to do a drifting tutorial. It's going to be comprehensive, and I'm going to talk all about the technique involved. And it's not as hard as it looks, but there is a few things you need to consider before trying it, so you're not just going out and just working it out by yourself. If you listen to this advice before you try it, you're going to be much more successful. But that's coming up in I would say hopefully max 2 weeks time. And the reason is because I want to make it properly. I don't want to just make a quick crappy video. I want to make a good one.
And that, my friends, is exactly how you break the glass of a $1,300 lens.
And I'm going to have to prepare, I'm going to go out and take several cameras and all that. So, yeah, wait for that. But today I just want to talk about a couple of drifts that I did in the past few videos, especially in the last one or the one before that, where I had some drifts at the end of the video. So I reckon most of you didn't even see those. And it kind of highlights some of the important technique involved. So let's see them. Let's see what I'm talking about. See right there how the EUC kicks out sideways, and you're traveling sideways for a bit, and then it kicks back in. See that? That's how you got to do it. I know it's not really saying much, and like I said, later I'm going to get into the detail of the technique. But that's the important thing, is that you correct. Just like when you drift in a car or a bike, you sort of come out sideways and then whip the tail back in. And that's the important thing, is to whip it back in time, or in the correct fashion, so you don't lose control. Otherwise, if you just keep going sideways, you just keep sliding out, and then you just fall down. It's low siding, as they call it in the motorbike world. And conversely, if you have too much grip, you will go over the top. The wheel will grab the road, and you will high side. And guys, I'm doing something super weird here. I'm actually still editing this video as I'm making it, believe it or not. And you'll see why I'm doing this right now. See, look, I'm going back there just a sec. See, I just went back 2 seconds. Now I'm going to drop in this, and look, I'll just show you the editor. See, it's not a very long video so far. We're only up to about the 4 minute mark, see? And look, this is why I'm doing this. I'm going to drop in the thumbnail from one of the last videos where I did some drifts. See right there? Just drop it in there. And now we're going to measure this lean angle, because I was looking at that thumbnail and I was like, damn, that's probably the sharpest lean angle I've ever seen on my thumbnails. I've done some drifting videos before, and I always try and choose the hardest lean for the thumbnail. And now I'm going to measure it to see the exact angle that is, because I was estimating it was around 45 degrees, which I would say is the hardest lean I've done. I don't think the pedals even allow that kind of lean. I'm pretty sure they're like digging into the ground. Definitely. These pedals don't allow much lean at all on the Sherman. But anyway, let's place this line. I'll shrink it a bit, say 55%. I'll make it 75. Yeah, about there. All right, and now let's match the angle of the wheel. So that's 0 degrees, as you can see. And I'll tip it back. So we're up to 10 degrees so far. I'll put it in the center of the wheel so it's like an accurate measurement. Alright, let's keep going. We're up to 15 degrees, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Still not there, 45. That's what I was guessing, 45. And it looks like it's still not even there. See, can you see how, like, hold on, I'll get rid of that. Can you see it's not quite parallel with the wheel? Still a bit of angle left in there. So let's keep going. So up to 45, 48. It's not quite there. I'd say there. 51 degrees. That's pretty much spot on, don't you reckon? It's parallel with the Sherman there. And as you can see, the angle is 51 degrees. It says right there. And that's pretty intense, guys. That's like getting up there into MotoGP lean angles. Like in the MotoGP, they usually lean at about 60 degrees. So 51 degrees is pretty damn good without trying to sound like I'm bragging. But I reckon I'm getting better, guys. I've been doing these drifts for a while now. And since, remember I had my break? I had that time off my wheel. It was like 4 months. And actually it's good that I'm talking about this now because I'm kind of filling in some gaps. Because I went from like not knowing how to ride again. Remember like early, back when I first got my wheel back from like that long hiatus. I forgot how to ride. I like got on and just fell off straight away. And then I was thinking, damn, how am I going to drift now? You know, I can barely ride this thing at all. And then I didn't talk much about my learning or my relearning. And then suddenly I was putting out drifting videos. So there was kind of a gap there. I'm going to talk about it now. Basically, I went through the whole learning process again in turbo mode. Like, you know, when you first learn to ride a wheel, it takes like several months to get really good at it. You know, to the point where you're just like cruising around without even thinking about it. Well, I went through all of that again, the whole process, but in turbo mode. So instead of like, let's say 3 months, it took 3 weeks. Or maybe 1 week, or I reckon 2 weeks. It's pretty cool though, because like, I got to see the whole process again and got to see take some new insights from it, you know, because I'm like doing the whole thing again. And I was kind of learning how to feel the wheel again. And I reckon it was actually good. It was a good thing for my experience. You know, like I'm getting better because of that too, I reckon. And now I'm at the point where I'm back to where I was drifting, like, you know, before, and better, I reckon. And the hardest, and speaking of MotoGP again, the hardest lean angle ever done, like in history, was 68 degrees by Marc Marquez. Or, is that, I think Marc Marquez, I think that's his name. So I'm not quite there yet, but I reckon with an EUC that has higher pedals, I'll be able to get this lean out even more. Because, like I said, these pedals just dig into the ground. Like, you can see there, look at that pedal sticking out there. So imagine the bottom one going down in this direction. Right? Let's do it actually. Look, I'll make a new track. Put another line in here. Chuck that in. And then move this line. And add 90 degrees to it, so it's perpendicular to the original line. So what's 90 plus 151? It's 141. So 141, now we're perpendicular, in line with the pedals pretty much. And as you can see, if this pedal is sticking down there, oh, actually, let's do the size as well. So we match the pedal size. So 45%, no, make it, let's try 25%. That's about right. A little bit less actually, let's go 24. 24%, and now you can see that line is about the same size as the pedal. Like the same length from the center. Look, I'll get rid of that. So see, you can see it there. Now let's move it down to the other side. So we can estimate whether it's digging into the ground. Looks like it is. See that? It definitely is, guys. See, it's the ground is about there, just above. See, look, you can line it up from there. Goes down there, basically. So yeah, the pedal is digging into the ground, and it's limiting how much I can lean this thing. And that really, I can actually feel that when I'm doing it. I always feel like these pedals are limiting. So it'd be cool to try another EUC, guys. One with a bit higher pedals, but very similar to the Sherman. There's many factors that make this a good drifting machine. Partly because it's well balanced. Lots of people talk about how the Sherman has got like perfect balance. It's heavy, which is good because you want a low center of gravity for good stability, especially for cornering and leaning. You know, you want a low center of gravity. You don't want to be top heavy when you're leaning. Think about a van, like a tall van or a double-decker bus going around a sharp corner. It's just going to tip over, isn't it? Because it's top heavy. So you want bottom heaviness. And to achieve that, the best way is to have a heavy wheel. You could try wearing some heavy shoes, but I don't think that's going to be too comfortable. So a heavy wheel is a good thing. It's really good for many reasons. It's not good if you want to pick it up and like walk up a flight of stairs, but aside from that, it's got nothing but advantages. It's, you know, it adds to the safety. It's not just more stable around corners. It's more stable in straight lines at speed, going over like bumps and rough terrain. It's going to stay straight. You know, if you've got a light wheel, imagine a wheel that's like a feather, you know, paper light. It's just going to flap around like a piece of paper. You know, it's going to just go all over the place. So the weight alone, and I've mentioned this like way back in an older video, the weight alone is an advantage. Even if the weight brought nothing else, like, you know, normally if you've got more weight, it's because you've added batteries or strengthened the case, you know, the roll bars, anything that could bring some other advantage, but usually it comes at the cost of extra weight. But what I'm saying is that weight alone, so even if you add a dead weight to your EUC, that is bringing an advantage, and a significant one. You know, stability is very important when you're on one wheel. You know, can't really emphasize that enough. But anyway, let's end it here, guys, and we're going to do that tutorial soon. I'm like planning it. I'm actually going to go out to this same area, and I'm going to bring a rake and rake up this area, because I've like kicked up so many rocks already that it's all like messed up. Like the ground is all like, the rocks aren't there anymore, and you kind of need the rocks because it makes it like a loose surface. You know, when all the rocks are gone, it becomes very grippy, almost like the road, and you can't drift on that. So yeah, I'm gonna bring a rake. I'm gonna drive my van with the rake. Maybe I'll use my EUC, who knows. Maybe I'll bring the rake and everything just with the EUC, but probably not. I'll probably use my van. And there's a lot of rocks that have been kicked up. Look, just here, how many rocks do you reckon there are? It's like 1,000. On each drift, it just moves 1,000 rocks. So there's a bit of raking to do. I don't really need to rake it up, but to make a good tutorial, I just want to prepare the ground, you know, so it's nice. Alright guys, we'll see you back in the next video. And the next video is probably not going to be the drifting tutorial. It's going to, like I said, 2 weeks or something. So by then, I'm probably going to have like 10 more videos up at the rate things are going. But in any case, look forward to that drifting tutorial, and you'll know when it's out because, you know, I'll make it obvious in the thumbnail what it's about. Alright guys, peace.